Yesterday, Highlands. Today, back in London.
There was a wee cooper who lived in Fife, nickety nackety no no no, and he has gotten a gentle wife. Hey willy wallachy hoo, jundugalaling, carashity roo roo roo. She wadna bacon, she wadna brew, nickety nackety no no no, for the spiling o' her comely hue. Hey willy wallachy hoo, jundugalaling, carashity roo roo roo.
So whilst I don't want to dwell on the subject of agents 3 films in a row, someone did bring up a very valid question, which is at what point is the right time to approach an agent? And I think the simple answer to that is once you've got something that they can grasp onto, something that they can sell, market. So whether you've just won a kind of Young Composer of the Year award, or you've just been nominated for an Ivor Novello for this small thing that, you know, has just kind of taken off. When there's something that's really marketable, and you have to be a really good judge of that, you really have to kind of work out, this is great for me, but it is just me kind of writing some music for my daughter's kind of Sleeping Beauty panto at her school. But another way of getting in touch with agents is simply, if you're looking to be a composer's assistant, that I think is one of the best ways in both with composers but also with agents. Okay, so in Britain we have this thing called Desert Island Discs, which is a kind of a massive radio franchise that's been going for hundreds of years, whereby it's a real honour for a Brit to get asked to do this. You get invited on and you have to talk about, I think it's your favourite 12 records that you would take with you if you were stranded on a desert island. A lot of people ask me about kit, and I just think it might be quite fun to do my desert island kit. And obviously I'm going to take my MacBook Pro, my T3, I'm going to take Spitfire chamber strings, I'm going to take Fab Filter Reverb. Yes, I have switched. It is awesome. And a pair of DT770s. That's going to be my basic virtual Desert Island kit. But when it comes to one of the best, my favourite, the Desert Island, if I was only allowed one compressor, one EQ, then these are the things that I would go to. The first thing, as I always say to students and people who are starting out, the first thing you need after you've got your computer or this, that and the other is a good microphone. Now my favourite microphone is the BBC Coles. I think it's called Coles because it was invented by a guy called Colin and a guy called Les. Unfortunately, these are not the most versatile of mics. They're just rich, they're great for vocals and great for things like stringed instruments and stuff, but it's not an all-rounder. It's not what you'd refer to in photography as a prime lens. So, my Desert Island microphone would have to be one of these, which is a KM184 by Neumann, and this is, I think, possibly one of the most brilliant, versatile mics, which is also excellent for sampling. So if you're getting down and dirty and rolling your sleeves up and making your own sample library, you can't really go wrong with one of these. Not massively expensive and, you know, great mic number one of your mic cupboard alongside an SM57 or 58. Outboard compressors, mine would be a Neve 33609, very much an industry standard, certainly for broadcast, but great for kind of soft compression, bus compression, and fantastic on strings. It really is a very musical piece of kit. It has a limiter in it, but the limiter is shit. But the Neve 33609, it adds a lovely chocolatey feeling to your stuff, and it's kind of Neve-y and a bit tweedy, and I absolutely love it. Where EQ is concerned, I would never put a piece of outboard EQ on strings or orchestras other than a Manley Massive Passive. I've listened to the imitations or the virtual versions, and whilst they're close, they really don't quite match up to the Massive Passives. What's really interesting about them is when you really hoink the gain up, it doesn't change a huge amount, so you can really fine-tune not only the point that you're EQing, but how much you're EQing. And mic and line pre's, I would say the Neve 1073, very affordable, very versatile. Get the DPA, not the DPD. The AD converters, in my humble opinion, are a bit crap, but the DPA is brilliant. I, again, don't have the ears to go, well, it just sounds better and it sounds great. All I know is when I use this mic or line pre, things are easier to mix. Something I would always take on a Desert Island with me is the Fractal Axe Effects, which is just a mental multi-effects thing that is, I've made so much of the Stevenson stuff with this bit of kit. Really, really awesome. Where distortions are concerned, no studio is complete without a thermionic Culture Vulture. And where kind of guitar pedals are concerned, I would say my Desert Island would be the Moog ring modulator. For digital delay boxes, I would say the Line 6, yes, the Pod People, I think it's a DL4, is absolutely, it's just, well, it just doesn't sound like anything else. It's absolutely awesome. My Desert Island speakers would be Dynaudio BM15As. I've got a massive pair of very, very expensive speakers as my fun speakers in my studio, and I never use them because the BM15As are just awesome. Where controller keyboards are concerned, I'd say the Doepfer LMK4 has a beautiful feel. I think it's a Fat R keybed, but one of the better ones. And where synths are concerned, my Desert Island synth would have to be a Jupiter 4, a vintage Roland that looks a bit crap like an organ, but has just the most wonderful fat presets. And as is traditional with Desert Island discs, you're always allowed to take one book with you, and I would suggest the book I would take with me on my Desert Island kit would be Walter Piston's Orchestration.